What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mark Howard, and you know what time it is. We talk Cowboys here. I'm on the road, got to drive, get to my practice, tryouts rather, excuse me. But I want to go part two on this episode. Part two. The funny thing about that first episode talking about the Micah trade, that was episode 11. Oh, the irony. But episode 12 is good. We're moving on. But I want to go a little further, a little more in-depth of thought about things and how they went down and what's going on. Just even from the reaction from it. Mixed reactions. There's Cowboys fans that are accepting it okay, seeing that maybe making a trade like that brings us more picks. I think many was thinking that they could be like the Herschel Walker trade. It's not going to be a trade like that. I said before, it's not going to be a trade like that ever again. At least not by Jerry Jones getting to do that. But I know people feel like, oh, we should have got more. I don't know that we're getting more than 2 first-round picks. Could have maybe sweated out for a second round and still get Clark. Or really, I would say, I probably would have made a hardcore stance for saying I need 2 years of one and twos. If Green Bay feels that Micah is that one player away, then that's ones and twos. That's ones and twos. But either way, I'll take the 2 ones. Ken Clark, he didn't have a good year this year. And he's approaching 30. He'll turn 30 in October. I think he's still very viable, very good. He's definitely probably better in the position of stopping the run better than what we have. And, listening now to the Joneses press conference, that came on after I recorded yesterday's show, which happened to be episode 11. How about that for irony? But the point being is that I listened to Jerry Jones really try to weigh into what Ken Clark brings. We got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. And did we go with a bona fide run stopper? We came up with a better run stopper. I think we have other guys that can be run stoppers. And if he can play the role that helps other D linemen, other tackles like Osa, Solomon Thomas, Mozzie, if it can help them play the position that's more natural, more thriving for them, then I think as a unit we can stop the run. And again, I'm speculating, I'm hoping. I've been hoping for a while for us to stop the damn run. But it hasn't materialized yet, so looking at what I do know and understanding about football, and I've been around the game for a while, haven't coached it in a while, that outlook is fine. Now, I've listened to a lot of people talk, a lot of people leave their messages and their comments, and some Cowboys fans, many Cowboys fans feel like it's a good trade. I can look and say salary cap wise, and the salary cap is what it is based on how much Jerry Jones and how he waits on doing contracts. But you got Dak with a high salary cap hit, CeeDee Lamb with a high salary cap hit, and you're going to have the third being Parsons. How deep can we be? We do lack for depth in some situations. Some of the situations where we look like we lack for depth in the preseason is because of injuries. But how much quality depth we have, let's see. The Cowboys have made some moves, and I'm sorry, I am driving out here, and I didn't write down the names. I kind of did this impromptu, but we brought in an offensive guard, thinking about Clark. An offensive guard that's experienced, good guard there, but he's just going to be a backup. We're set at guard. With Tyler Booker, looked good in training camp, and the one preseason game he was healthy to play. And obviously Tyler Smith, who's one of the, if not the best guard, not only that, but just really one of the best linemen in the game. So we're solid there. Cooper Beebe, second year, who did well with really not that much of coaching and preparation to play center last year, is getting that now. Expecting a lot better with his experience. So in that interior of our offensive line, we're good. I do feel we were deep enough with TJ Bass and company backing up the starters. Think of Steele and Guyton as well. So, if they think this lineman will upgrade, okay, fine. But the Cowboys waived Ryan Flournoy to make room, and that was a head scratcher. That was a Mozzie of a head scratcher. I'm sorry, did I bring up Mozzie's name? He's still on the roster. Okay, yeah. So I just, if you want to make room, they made room with you carrying five. You kept 5 receivers, then you waived one of them. Okay, we're gonna go with 4. Okay. Are they gonna retain Flournoy for the practice squad? I have to follow up and look. I have not seen any reports on that yet. But we'll see. So Cowboys are making these little moves within moves. Again, cap space has been freed up. Cowboys have probably the second most in the league now in cap space after the trading of Micah Parsons. Clark doesn't really, and he's still in the contract for a few more years, so his cap hit is good. It'll be great if he produces to even near his Pro Bowl form. And I think he will. We have depth on our line, so he's not going to be called upon to carry such a heavy load, but we're hoping that he can be a good anchor in running situations. And again, losing Micah, our best pass rusher that draws double coverage, we have to rely upon the other guys, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, Houston, who look good. I mean, there's just the rookie Ezeraku, who you say he didn't flash and make big plays, and in the preseason games he played in, he wasn't bad. I think he didn't particularly get any sacks because the offenses were doing what they needed to do. They were getting rid of the ball fast. He was very close in pressures, but ball was gone before he could actually get there and complete a full sack. But he looked good in training camp. So there's nothing to think or suspect that he may do well. There are big thoughts for him. And if Ezeraku can show to be that player, and I get he's a rookie, but hey, Micah Parsons has been in the league for 4 years. He's been a Pro Bowler for all 4 years. So that includes, it's not beyond sight to think that a rookie, second round rookie, can't come in and be impactful. Can he be Micah Parsons? Hey, look, again, the league didn't think that Micah Parsons was going to be this Micah Parsons, because if they did, he never would have been a Cowboy. He would have been drafted in the top 3. And I didn't look back as I think about it. I forget who was the number 1 pick 4 years ago. But we can talk about that. And I'm just saying, I'm looking at it. The move itself sucks. And you can say Jerry Jones going back to the press conference. Jerry Jones can talk about saying that we thought about this, I imagine you think about making any kind of moves, especially when the team went 7-10. You think about what's our best move. If we traded a player, okay, obviously, I can believe that you think about trading Micah. You think about even trading CeeDee Lamb. Okay? Why? Because if you're going to trade and be able to make an impactful trade, especially either before the draft or even at all, because very rare did you just trade player for player like they do in basketball or maybe baseball. It's usually for draft picks. Then you're going to trade your top players because they're the one that's going to fetch the biggest price, the best price. So, yeah, okay, maybe he was. But for 1 second, do I think this was not reactionary to how things were just not happening in the contracts and the way things went down? Of course. That was reactionary. Now, I'm going to say this with this. Micah Parsons, great young player. And I'm not mad at it. I'm really not. As the fact that he's no longer a Cowboys, I go saying whatever about him. But I appreciate what he's done. But hey, he stepped in it by playing the agent at the time, going through all that, and then wanting to now start negotiations after things have been done and agreed to. That's on him. And believe me when I tell you, he ain't going to admit it, but believe me, between he and his agent, a very good agent, they had a talk about that. He's not going to do that again. He's not going to do that again. All right? But it's very clear that things got cantankerous. And I know what Jerry Jones is talking about. Jerry and Steven was like, oh, no, we wouldn't think about cutting a person because of that lying on the table. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you remember that meme, that video. Yeah, no, that was not a good look. Me personally, I wasn't tripping off of it, but I know it wasn't a good look. I just wanted to see, hey, what would this result from, to see how they took it. And from the results of the trade, you could tell they were none too pleased with it. They can tell me if they want to. When they do the next documentary and they really go talk about it in depth, then Jerry and Steven will say, yeah, that shit was the last straw. It happens, guys. Jerry was not happy with the situation. And some people say pride goeth before the fall, but hey, when we're doing business, you're doing business. And that part you have to understand. There's some stuff with Jerry Jones that some things are very obvious, some things are overblown about him that people like to say and use. But, thinking businessman, right or wrong, hey, look, if you're doing business, the person who you may be negotiating with may be wrong in some sense, but if they hold the money and you're trying to negotiate and get money out of them, sometimes you're going to have to, as they say, acquiesce. Or you're going to have to, if not really acquiesce to anything, I would say you'd have to stay away from a certain thing, not to bring out the beast. You know what I'm saying? Not to bring out the asshole. Okay? Keep it business, keep it square, and be have as much integrity as you can have. There's game within the game and everything. But I think Micah, come on, 26 years old, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and he don't know how to do that. He stepped into something, and his agent was like, hey, and his agent doesn't give a damn where he plays. He don't give a damn where he plays. He just wants the most. He wants to make sure he goes to a situation that's going to pay him the most money that he can get, because his client will be happy and that commission check will be fatter. That's the business. Not here to hate on that. That's what he's supposed to be doing. I listen to Jerry Jones when he says things that's true too. He's developed rapport and relationship with, but you can see it. He still has he has these relationships with Michael Irvin, still with Emmitt Smith, with Troy Aikman, other players, Charles Haley. He has those relationships, and he says, I've signed up so many players and worked with agents all the time, which I know they have. They have worked with agents. They're not someone that's saying, "Oh, I don't want to talk to your agent." But like he said, when the time ends and the career ends, or something stops, the agent's gone. The agent protects you while you can still make money. Trust me, I learned in the show business. One thing I learned at around Michael Parsons' age, being in show business, what's the difference between a manager and an agent? And everybody, to a man and woman and child, will say the manager actually cares about the client. Now, I'm not here to diss agents. They are useful people. They are necessary. They are necessary. But again, when it comes to business, it's not personal. It's business. And Jerry Jones said, hey, I've been there where it's personal. Young guys are making a whole lot of money. And, Jerry Jones is stuck by a lot of players, so people can talk about what they want to for what he's done, sticking by Randy Gregory, David Irving, Michael Irvin, for that matter. He stuck with these players, black players, through rough times. Guys who, look, Randy Gregory or David Irving ain't done nothing close to impact as Charles Haley, as Russell Maryland, any of those guys, Darren Woodson, Emmitt Smith, ain't done nothing compared to those guys. But he stuck by them. He has great relationships with them. So understand that he's saying, hey, I'm gonna have this relationship with him when the age is gone. But if you open up the Pandora's box of talking to him and wanting to talk numbers and talk deal with him, you got to understand that's part of it. And it ain't the first time that a player will say what they want to do and the numbers they'll get without talking to their agent, still having an agent. And they just say, hey, look, does this work for you? It's happened. So it's not brand new. So Micah wanted to get into this. His agent was like, oh, no. I got a better number for you. I'm going to get you out of this. We're not doing this. I'll talk to him, let him talk to me. And Jerry Jones was like, hell to the no. You're going to start all over. I got a number on the table that I agree with. Your boy agreed with it. And, hell no. And so I'll send you over the deal that he agreed to, that I'm good with, here. Check it out. Do all a little fine tuning. We're there. Say what you want about with Jerry Jones. I'm not on the side with it. I'm not. But I'm not against him on it either. Last thing I'll say to you, I know a lot of people want to go. Look, you can say who's our best talent on our team. Yes, Michael Parsons. Next best talent, is overall talent, CeeDee Lamb. Okay, no doubt about that, CeeDee Lamb. Even Trayvon Diggs, I think, is one of the better talented players we have on the team. And then you go with Dak Prescott. But let me tell you something. You can be surprised and be mad, and everybody can be surprised at trading Michael Parsons. I was surprised. As I said, I felt a little something different was here. I didn't think trade, but I felt something was a little different in these normal little delayed signings. And it happened. But again, the only player that you can say is never going to get traded is your franchise quarterback. If he is your franchise quarterback, he's never going to get traded. The only time you see that happen is with Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford came to say, hey, look, we've done this enough time. I'd like to move on. And Jared Goff, who did get to a Super Bowl, if you can do a trade swap like that, then you can expect them. But those don't. So with the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade, tell me another quarterback for quarterback trade you heard of. You haven't. So quarterbacks don't get traded like that. Anybody else you see, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, O-line, front line, D ends, linebackers, interior or outside backers, safeties and corners, special teams. They are all fair game. Brandon Aubrey's the best kicker in the game. If we get a good offer for him, he gone. You get the right offer for him, he gone. So let's not act all surprised about or act like it's so crazy. Yes, it's tough. A lot of people are emotional. Get over it one way or the other. If you through with the Cowboys, I'd say you'd be through and whatever. If you were shouting you were through, but then now you've taken another rest and you still down for the boys, but you mad. I understand. But know this, that players get traded. We did pick up some people that's moving forward that we can continue to retool. Maybe even have picks that we can package into a trade-up scenario for a player we want. That'll be really good and really need. Who knows? So we'll see here. Yo, guys, subscribe, please. Subscribe, hit like, drop a comment on what you think. You can talk trash if you want to. I'm not afraid of it. I'm used to it. All right. So, hey, that's my take. I think I've got enough on the situation with Mike. Unless something new develops, or something new is discovered. Let's say that as well about this trade, about this situation. It's rare. It's a rare situation, but it can happen. And those who are expecting our demise and expecting us to fall down to the worst team in the league, it won't be because Mike is gone. What I am concerned, and Cowboys fans, feel me, I think you do. What I'm more concerned with than anything, whether we had Micah or not, okay, is, and I'm not questioning, I just don't know, has this coaching staff got this team prepared? Does Brian Schottenheimer, aka Shotty, with all the things he's done, the way he's doing it, which is refreshing and energetic, and I like it. I can see where it could be positive. The players seem to be happy with it. But is it the type of personnel that will respond well on the field where it counts under the coaching staff led by Shotty? That's my biggest concern and legitimate concern. I'm not questioning it, not any of that. We can question Jerry Jones' process of getting a coach. He's just never been the same getting a coach than any owner. And even when it comes to Jimmy Johnson, you can say maybe the reaction of Jimmy Johnson had him at. He didn't interview a slew of coaches. He told Jimmy Johnson way beforehand, I plan on making a move to buy the Cowboys, and if I buy the Cowboys, you're going to be my coach. That was the interview process that he went through. All right, so anyone else? Hey, Bill Parcells was looking at a TV and saw him being interviewed, saw Jerry Jones being interviewed, and said, I could work with that guy. When it got out that he said that, Jerry Jones called him in, and that was your interview process. So, not tripping about the interview process again with Brian Schottenheimer, a coach that they had in the house for a few years, so they do know who he is. We'll see. I'm hoping. Boy, I'm hoping. But I can open one hand and take a shit in the other. See which one gets filled first. But I have no choice but to hope at this point, because I can't control the situation. Guys, again, subscribe, like the show, like the page, subscribe to the page, show some love. Appreciate you guys. And hey, this is Mark Howard, and hey, see you again when we can talk some more Cowboys here.